the station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Freedom Chat, where real Americans speak their minds. And no topic is off limits. No scripts, no judgment, just honest conversation, raw, unfiltered, and free. If you're ready to challenge the narrative and celebrate true freedom, you're in the right place. This is Freedom Chat.
Well, good morning. The Broncos won. Congratulations to the Broncos. As a fan, that made me happy. As a fan, I'm also very sad for Bo Nix. But you know what? That's what happens when you play a rough game, man. You can't expect to come out of everything unscathed. And, you know, I already saw some of the comments. Margie Padbury posted last night. Without Bo Nix, how are we going to win? I just simply said, next man up. You know, and look, if they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. I mean,
hey, you know what?
That's what's important is whatever.
Jared Stidham is no slouch, man.
No, I think Jared's going to be fine.
Great quarterback.
I think Jared's going to be fine. As usual, folks, if you are interested in coming onto the show, all you got to do is send a text or a comment. I'll actually try to put the link on right now. In fact, there it is. So the link is now on and saved. If you want to come on, just jump on the link. You'll be accepted in. The rules are always very simple. No insults. Don't call each other names. Try to keep cussing down to a bare minimum. We actually have pretty much eliminated the cuss words. And if you try to make a statement of fact, I will go over to the tablet and verify it. And if you're not factual in your statement, I will call you out. So what we want to talk about today is, and anybody who jumps on is more than welcome. Like I said, jump on. We openly welcome anybody and everybody onto our show. And it doesn't matter whether you lean left or lean right or lean center. So Greenland, why don't we just get started, man? I'm going to rip a couple Band-Aids off. I don't care. And look, I've had some conversations with people already. I don't care that nobody has gone onto that island since 80 years, since essentially World War II. I don't care. It does present a strategic element, and it is important to understand that it does have strategic importance. It doesn't matter that Russia and China haven't gone up there yet. It doesn't mean that they're not looking at it. And I think it's important to understand that the president is not thinking linear. He's trying to think like this. He's not thinking micro, he's thinking macro. And I think people need to understand that. That said, this is where I will separate from Trump supporters. There is a right way and a wrong way to negotiate. And for all of his victories and successes, in this case, it is my opinion that he is not negotiating in the right manner. I don't pretend to know what's going on behind closed doors. But what I do know is publicly you don't say easy way or hard way, because it leads to misinterpretations of what hard way means.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what you guys have to say about that, and then we can kind of go back and forth for it. We'll start with Dennis.
Well, here's a fun fact. Greenland is not green. It's mostly ice. But anyway, with that said, Denmark did give China fishing rights off of their coast. So China does fish off of their coast with Denmark's permission.
Fish being a very loose term, because
Well, whatever fishing means, I'm assuming that it's probably more than just catching fish.
that'd be a good
Um,
assumption.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure we can all read between the lines on that one. Um, yeah, I don't think that saying we're going to do it the easy way, the hard way is the best way to uh, sway the voters or the people of Greenland. But um, I will tell you that I saw something yesterday that kind of caught my eye. Uh, Trump might be, because of the fact that the EU is supposedly sending troops now, like Germany and Denmark and the UK and all these other EU countries are sending troops to Greenland. Um, was that just kind of a ploy from Donald Trump, like secretly
Right.
getting NATO to go and protect Greenland?
I know, because I do think that he's pretty hell bent on gaining that land, because underneath that ice is a gold mine of raw resources.
Yes, they are
Um,
mineral rich.
they
Yeah.
are very, very mineral rich.
Well, and I'm just saying that maybe that's part of his ultimate plan, that like ulterior motive that maybe nobody really saw. Although, and who knows? Maybe he said what he said because of that, but we don't know for sure.
Right, because once again, we can't be in the mind of someone like that. And look, the guy that I've been talking to is he has very publicly said he regrets his vote for Trump, mostly because of what has gone on with this whole Greenland thing. And I would challenge anybody. It's honestly, Mom, he started talking about Greenland almost day one. He brought up Greenland. He
Right
brought
after
up
Canada.
he brought up, yeah, but I mean, honestly, think about Canada. Canada's more of a tongue-in-cheek issue.
Yeah, it is.
But Greenland, he was pretty serious about Greenland from the moment that he stepped back into the White House. I don't think that any of this is a reason to hate him or to change your support for him. That's my opinion. Uh, Once again, I tend to try to look at it from a very non-emotional point of view. So because I tend to lean and try to look at it from non-emotions, or from not having an emotional position on it, it's real easy to get emotional and angry. It's a lot harder when you separate emotion from, hey, look at what he said. He's borderline threatening Greenland and Denmark. Well, I don't know. He's already said he's going to apply economic pressure. That's what he meant. For those of you who are paying attention, that's what he meant by hard way. He did not mean troops on ground. He has never once said, I'm sending troops. He said easy way or hard way. And then he announced, Friday night, Mom? He announced that he was going to utilize tariffs to apply pressure until a deal is met. Mom, I kind of know where I would like to know where you stand on it.
Oh, I would say that I never gave a whole lot of thought about Greenland other than the fact that it was pretty much a stop off and used during World War II. We have a base there and have since World War II. I think he's doing what he needs to do, and part of it has to do with I would say, possibly becoming compromised. I would have to say compromised NATO.
Okay, and
Because NATO is the EU NATO countries. Several of them are becoming very compromised,
yep.
and that's got to play into it as well.
But they're becoming compromised from within, not from without. They're not being compromised by China. What Trump said this morning, he actually held a press conference this morning, and one of the things that he said was, we will not allow Russia or China to become that close of neighbors to us, period. That was what he said. That is what he's getting at. And yes, Mom, you're right. But the problems that Europe is having is they've got a problem with radical Islam taking over their governments. That's the problem that they've got right now.
Right.
England is a train wreck, and so is France.
I think
Germany
that's
ain't
what he's
worked
looking
out.
at. That's what he's looking at right there.
Yeah. And because of that compromise, NATO becoming weaker because because of a radicalized Islamic government run of those countries, he's look, we keep sitting here thinking that it's not happening here in the United States. It is happening. It's happened in Dearborn, and it's about to go full on in New York. And how does that relate to what's going on in Greenland? My answer is this is a lot less complicated than it needs to be. Here's what, and I'm not Donald Trump, and this is me. I already said I don't like the way he's presented it. That's because he has always boasted about being a master negotiator. So what's a better way to negotiate this? I mean, I have an idea of what a better way to negotiate this is, but I'd kind of like to know where you guys. I mean, let's not talk about NATO. Let's talk about the negotiation to annex Greenland into the United States as a territory, kind of like Puerto Rico, right? And Guam.
The problem with Denmark and Greenland is that Denmark is also pretty radically gone Muslim too.
Okay, you're not answering the question, Mom. You're giving me another issue at hand. I'm asking, if you were negotiating with Denmark and Greenland and you were the president, how would you negotiate it? I don't care, because it's still a monarchy. Denmark is still a monarchy. They are not a full-on democratic country. Okay, and as radical as they are, there is the influence that the United States could do simply by being up there could put a stopper in some of the insanity that is going on in Europe. I mean, just the presence alone would be pretty significant. The question is, how do you negotiate this in a manner that, keeping in mind, you're not going to please everybody, right? Do we agree with that?
Well,
You can't please everybody.
I think probably the negotiations that are going on behind the scenes are probably the actual what's actually happening. We don't see what's being said behind the scenes. We only see what's presented. I would say that the tariffs, everybody screams about the tariffs being bad, but they are a way to win friends and influence people and make you sit up and take notice.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. And look, we don't know what's going on. What I'm trying to get at, and look, we don't know the private Trump. We only know the public Trump. And I kind of kind of preface that. Let's get back into this after our break. Our break is only going to take about 23 seconds, and it's funny.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
Nope.
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
I want to get that tattoo, man.
Oh my God. I just lost Dennis on the screen. By the way, I'm now officially playing with the screen because why the hell not? Okay, back over to the real screen. There we go.
Yeah, there I am.
This is what I would do if I were President Trump. And just keep in mind, I'm not President Trump. And I'll be quite honest, thank God I'm not president. I would not want. Look, we've already talked about this. Dennis, there is no way in hell I want that job.
No.
No, you can forget it. I would not want that job at all.
It's bad enough to have responsibilities just at your job, like at work.
Right.
The responsibility of the president, basically, the whole world falls upon his shoulders at that point.
Right. And look, I have enough issues driving school buses from time to time. So.
No.
Oh, middle schoolers. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do if I were the president. And I can only make the assumption that that is what he is doing. Create an environment that gives benefits for Greenland. And there are a million ways to improve that, like improving their infrastructure, improving their basic amenities, running water. I was listening to Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. They don't even have running water there. There's 55,000 people that live there, and they don't have running water. And a lot of times they have to take a shower using ice as the means to get fluids down
I'm not even going to comment on that one.
From what I understand, their electricity is minimal at best. So you offer them infrastructure that makes their lives better. And then you negotiate with Denmark to provide Denmark and Greenland greater physical security, because now you've got military forces up there. The minerals, because you know they're going to tap into the minerals. That's the golden goose right there, right? If you make it so that it's, and I hate saying it this way because everybody's going to get the wrong idea, but if you make it so that it's profitable for Greenland, Denmark, and the United States, it then becomes a win-win-win situation, except for Russia and China. So that would be, and I don't, like I said, I don't know what they're negotiating behind the scenes. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, I honestly.
I gotta say, man, I think whether it's secretly or not secretly, a lot of those European leaders don't like Trump and or the United States. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Macron. I'm not a big fan of the guy from the UK. I can't. His name. Starmer. I don't trust those guys as far as I could throw their big toe, which I couldn't because it's attached to their whole body. But they don't strike me as being friendly whatsoever, especially because of the way they're, especially the UK, going beyond Parliament, beyond the royal throne, and just allowing anything and everybody to come on in. I don't like it.
Right. And I agree with you. And, that's why this negotiation has to be between Denmark and Greenland and the United States. Thank goodness this is a negotiation that doesn't require participation from NATO, because if it did, it would be just a disaster. And look, here's really the hardest issue at hand with this is, he's done so much looking at things going on outside that, unfortunately there are issues. I mean, as a veteran and working, this is a veteran network. The military broadcast radio is a veteran network. And the sad part is there are a couple of veteran benefit bills. The one that we talked about was the Richard Starr Act that's being blocked by veterans in the House right now. And, the president, for all of the things that he's doing that is very positive, he's kind of neglecting that part of this. So, we've got all of our attention on Greenland, and to a lesser degree, we'll talk about it in about 10 minutes, but to a lesser degree, Iran, when there are plenty of domestic issues that need to be addressed. The sanctuary states and sanctuary cities, quite frankly, to me, should take precedence. To me, that's my not so humble opinion, that those particular issues are more important than Greenland to me. The Richard Starr Act, which would really help veterans that are really broken, is more important to me than Greenland. I think you have 3 years to figure out how to deal with Greenland, unless Russia and China become more aggressive up there. That said, I don't know, and I'm going to be honest. I don't know that they're being militarily aggressive up there. I mean, is there anything coming out of Fox News to that effect, Mom? I mean, you guys watch that crap more than I do.
Well, there's certainly been talk about submarines and what have you hanging around the coast of Greenland.
Yep.
Of Russia and China both.
Okay, so we know that there has been an increase in military presence.
Yes.
Okay, well, also then you know what you know.
Also in Canada. China's in Canada big time.
Well, yeah, but China was in Panama also. And we can't do anything about China being in Canada, Mom. We cannot. They're a sovereign nation. They're going to do what they're going to do.
That's not the point. The point was I was pointing out that was Greenland is close enough to Canada that's a good reason why there would be increased traffic by China's not so lovely shipping boats.
Right. And it's one of those things where you sit there and you go, of course we know that Canada is, of itself a proverbial train wreck.
Oh yeah.
And that's that's a whole nother issue. They had an opportunity to vote in an actual moderate conservative, and they continue to be the the definition of insanity, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this all comes back to insanity. Hey, it didn't work this time. We're going to try it again because we believe we can make it work.
Well, that new prime minister is still stuck on the New World Order.
Well, yeah. And that's going to be a reoccurring bugaboo.
Yep.
I mean, just call it what it is. That's what it's going to be. Is going to. The challenge you have is once a establishment is made, how hard is it to fight that establishment? This whole New World Order started all the way back in 1991 and 92 with President George H.W. Bush. He's the first one who actually brought the term New World Order to bear.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what his intent was. I would assume that his intent was a free, prosperous country or a free and prosperous world. However, you take a concept like that and you put it in the hands of people who have bad intentions, and instead of seeing it as a free and prosperous world, they see it as a means to create world domination. And hey, that's Monica right behind us. I saw my brother's girlfriend.
And he's sitting here too.
She poked her head over here, and I guess my brother's over there too. But I don't need him on the show.
Yes, well, he's hiding.
Good. Let him stay that way.
Well, you know, Greenland at one point had about, I think it's 17 military bases, United States military bases.
Yep.
On their land. And I'm not sure who or when, you know, who decided to downsize or when that happened, but I think now there's one.
Which probably due to budgets. I mean, you know, the dollar does drive the bus.
Yep.
As much as we don't want to talk about that either. So we got 3 minutes to kind of wrap this up in a bow. I don't like the rhetoric. I do understand the significance and I understand the importance. This is one of those incidences where I firmly believe that the president is not reading the room. The public opinion is really negative, like over 50% negative. And I don't know that tends to be coming more from the left polls because the left always has negatives on the guy. But like I said, I was literally talking this morning with a person who voted for Trump and supported Trump, and he no longer supports Trump in any way, shape, or form. And that is extended to him not wanting to vote for anybody from the current administration moving forward. And I'm just like, that's kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, once again, we don't live in that glass house. I always kind of try to stress that we don't live in that glass house. So we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We only know what's being said, you know, publicly. And, you know, I will say this, the president stands in front of all members of media and answers questions. And it doesn't matter whether you like his answers or not. So that's another element to this is we don't know until something is done, we're not going to know. So,
well, like I mentioned before, I'm kind of hoping that he's intentionally doing this to invoke in some manner a fury to get the EU countries to send their people over to protect, quote unquote, Greenland,
right,
from anything. So maybe it's a smart move. I don't know.
In all honesty, we're not going to know until the dust settles, and that's really kind of at the end of the day. That's what's going to happen. I always like to say, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Well, guess what? We don't know, and we won't know until we know it.
Right.
So,
there are more pressing issues anyway.
Right, and like I was saying before, I firmly believe that there are times when there's a right way and a wrong way of going about it. And in my humble opinion, the way he's gone about this has been really the wrong way. And that's my opinion. And, people who don't agree with me, I don't care. I mean, they don't have to agree with me. We all have opinions, and a lot of times those opinions are made into being more important than they actually are.
Well, and he's not known for sugarcoating anything.
Well, no, and
he doesn't always say things the right way.
Right.
And I agree with you. It bugs me sometimes the way he says things and does things like that.
Right. All right, we're going to go on to our second. It'll be our last break, because I've been wanting to cover Iran since the protests got started at the beginning of the new year, and I really kind of want to talk about it. And I think it's actually Iran's more important. That's why I wanted to do it second. Iran is so much more important than Greenland. That's again my opinion. All right, here we go.
What happened to you? Ruben, I'm in a situation here. We have to leave now. Well, no, can we stay a couple more minutes? But dude, no, this is serious. I just sharted. I don't know what that means. I tried to fart and a little shit came out. I just sharted. And let's go.
There's a car behind us.
I love that dog.
Let's go out on that back deck out here and check and see if the wind has ripped that
cover
thing down.
Okay.
I didn't think about it until last night.
All right. So I'm going to start by letting you guys talk about what you think is going on in Iran. I know you, like I said, you guys watch the news more than I do. And honestly, Iran is really, it's hard to know what the hell's going on right now.
Levin's been on it.
Yeah, I know. What did Levin say? Basically, is what it
beats me. I went to sleep last night.
Oh, so you're just madly unhelpful. What, you watch the game and get tired?
I missed it too.
All right. Here's what I know. I know that they were killing people, and that the death toll had hit close to 20,000.
Yeah, he talked about that at length. The number of people that had been killed and how that, they're shot in the back of the head and, on and on.
Trump in today's press conference reiterated that if that behavior continued, that he would strike. We tend to forget that when the Ayatollah took over in 79, as much as the people on the left keep screaming about Israel this and Israel that, in Israel, if you're a Muslim, you can wear what you want to wear, and in Israel, you have the freedom to practice your religion, even if it is the religion of Islam or Christianity, or they for all of the accusations that Israel gets thrown at it, that's one of the places where you really do seem to have more religious freedoms than anywhere else in the world. And Iran poses such a significant threat. And I'll tell you, we don't want to talk about this because too many people on the other side of the fence like to scream about Israel doing this and Israel doing that. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If Israel were to fall, the entire Middle East would fall into complete and total destitution and death. And those 20,000 people that they've lost since those protests started would be a drop in the bucket. That's what happens when a oppressive regime goes in and gets control of a population.
Well, one thing I can tell you right now is that the people, the uprising that's going on right now, they cannot they cannot hit the brakes on this. This has to go forward. This is long overdue. Iran is by far the the main problem with the with terrorism around the world.
Oh, they are.
They are the ones that basically fund it, train them, all that stuff, all the proxies, the Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of them.
Yep.
They are funded by Iran, this regime, and as they have said before, that the head of the snake needs to be cut.
Agreed. Here's a comment from a person. Her name is Alicia Laban. Woke up to reports that the United States won't be sending help to Iran. This was 3 days ago. As predicted, here's what I have to say. If the 12 to 20,000 person death toll is anywhere near accurate, which insiders say is laughably small, and this is the worst bloodbath the eyes have ever seen, then this is not just the deadliest massacre in recent memory. This is the deadliest massacre in the shortest period of time in all of Iranian history. The worst atrocity committed in all of time in Iran's 7,000-year-long history. Can you put what's happening now into a gruesome historical perspective? By that same logic, if the United States doesn't help after making false promises, it won't just be a betrayal. It'll go down as the biggest betrayal in Iranian history. So you've got exiled Iranians, people who escaped that regime. You know, it's pretty scary when you hear them begging for help for their countrymen. And it's even more frustrating to not understand why something isn't happening. And I've always said this. What's right is what's right, whether it's convenient or whether it's not. If it's not convenient, too damn bad. And it is important. We're half a world away. But 9/11 happened on our doorstep.
Well,
that's kind of, in a nutshell, where I'm at with this.
I'm of the opinion, and it's just my opinion, that the people on the ground in Iran who are fighting the regime have no weapons. The first thing that should have been done, in my humble opinion, which is obviously not humble, is that somehow or another they should have been fed weapons so they could fight back. So that whenever the guards shoot at them, they can shoot back, because that's a big part of the problem. That's the reason why you disarm your populace and keep them disarmed, is because they can't fight back effectively.
And that is a really, really, really big element to this.
That's a good point.
We talk about, here we go with the gun control thing, right? They will never take my guns. I will never allow them willingly to take my guns.
Absolutely not.
My mom believes exactly the same thing, and you see Dennis shaking his head right now. Because what happens when a populace is disarmed? Look at what happened not even 6 years ago in Australia. when the pandemic was rolling full force. And look at what they're dealing with now with that shooting that happened New Year's Day, the terrorist attack. And it was a terrorist attack. I don't care what anybody says. That was a radical Islamic shooting a gun at people shouting Allahu Akbar. So call it what it is. You know, I don't I'm past the point of trying to be nice about this. When someone is shouting Allah Akbar while hurting other people, they are terrorists. And don't give me this garbage of religious freedom, because they're trying to keep people from practicing their own religions. So I don't want to hear this. It's not phobia. It's a complete and total dislike of the religion, if you want to call it that. Back to the disarming and arming of a populace. The first thing that the Germans did when they started gaining control, the Nazis specifically, was disarm the populace and then in the name of public safety. Only problem was they were the reason that the public wasn't safe.
Right.
Same thing with Russians. First thing they did, they had an opportunity, was they disarmed the population. Well, when you disarm a population, it gives you basically carte blanche to do whatever the hell you want to do.
I'm sure Mussolini did it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every oppressive nation in the world has disarmed its population so that it can maintain physical control over its population. When the British tried to do that to the colonies, we see how well that went. And what we're watching in Iran right now is twofold. The people who are protesting very loudly, but they are also protesting from a position of strategic weakness. And unless you get people in there who know how to disarm somebody and then arm themselves, which in my opinion, to a very large degree, if those people, look, you're talking about 20,000 people that are being shot at. You can, in fact, charge those people with guns. It takes bravery and it takes a willingness to sacrifice.
To die for your country.
Right. So this is, in a very realistic sense, on them. You started something. Here's the harshest way, the most brutal way to finish it. People like Nathan Hale, who was hung as a spy, who said, I regret I have but one life to give. Samuel Adams. I'm going back into American history because I do believe that what we did as a nation when we gained our independence is relatable. And I firmly believe that if they became completely self-aware of that manner, those people have been, they've had the boot on their necks, so to speak, for so damn long.
Generations.
47 years, right?
Yes.
Am I right, Mom? 47 years? 50 years?
Oh, about that.
79.
79, right? Yep.
Yeah, good old Carter.
And, you know, I read this whole thing about how Carter basically betrayed the Shah because he saw the Ayatollah, or the Ayatollah lied to him, because we already know that those people are liars. He believed that the Ayatollah was going to be a moderate. Well, history definitely tells a different story, don't it?
Hey, it sounds like Mamdani in New York. Yeah, he's going to be a moderate.
Is he?
Yeah. Jimmy Carter was one of those people that ate too many poppies.
Yeah, and
he was a real flower child, masquerading as a Christian.
Yeah. And look, that's is the president going to be true to his word up until what's going on right now, he has been true to his word. And I think that timing has got a lot to do with the decisions that he makes. I think we'll know more by the end of this week coming. And like I said, it's my hope that he I hope he does what he said he's going to do. I believe that regime is dangerous not only to the United States but to its own neighbors. I think that when he bombed the nuclear plants and the areas that he bombed, the Middle East might have publicly denounced him, but I think Clay and Buck were right about the fact that behind closed doors they were sending him communications saying, yeah, that was a good call, man. Because he won't just, hey, we know Iran they were not shy. If they had gained it, death to America would have been a very real set of circumstances had they gained any kind of nuclear weapon, right?
I don't think any country around Iran ever trusted them or liked them.
Yeah.
But they were scared of them.
Yeah. And look, here's the other thing. And this is where, as we talk about Iran, I want to talk about the idiots in the entertainment industry. And I am going to call them, I don't like to call people names. Those people are stupid. Mark Ruffalo is a moron. He is
Clooney Jr.
As dumb as a freaking doorknob. And you know, it isn't just him. DiCaprio, every single one of those. Okay. I'm going to apologize before I say this. Every single one of them jackasses who are at that stupid ass award show wearing that stupid ass pen that had Good's name on it, they're the same jackasses that were out there protesting against Israel, claiming that Palestine needs to be free, and they don't even know or even remotely understand the history around it.
Right. Where are those protesters now? Where are those guys fighting for Iran?
We're talking about people, right? Are we not talking about people being free? Whether it's Palestine and Hamas or Iran or China or North Korea or Russia, is this not, if once again, I know that my mom feels this way because we've talked about it. Dennis, you and I feel this way. If you're not talking about the world and you're only isolating, it's like I've said this, when you hyper-focus on one thing and you don't give anything else any attention at all, that makes you a hypocrite. Because injustice is injustice. It doesn't matter where it is.
Right.
Mom, am I right?
Yeah.
So because that's the way I see things, it tends to lead to controversies. But at least I'm consistent about it. And that's one thing that this show is. Say what you want about this show. We are consistent. We've topped out at like 9 viewers. I don't know how many other people are going to show up. And I invited a bunch of people. Here's my take on people wanting to come on this show. If I send you a link, I'm sending you a link, and I will continue to send you a link until you tell me to stop sending you links. But you complain about my show and you don't jump on my show, your integrity is less than zero.
Yeah, zero.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. Everybody has had ample opportunities to jump on this show. On the stage that we have through StreamYard, we can have up to 6 people. And it is my desire to see 6 people jump on this thing and express themselves and express their opinions, whether I agree with the opinion, whether my mom or Dennis agrees with the opinion or not, is irrelevant. We call it Freedom Chat because it is about the freedom to express ourselves in an environment that, if it gets heated, I just spent 10 minutes criticizing the president of the United States, and I've been accused of being an apologist. So someone had better figure out how to tell me where I'm wrong.
No, that's not. They can accuse you of being that all they want, but that's not what it is. You disagree with.
I don't think President Trump, even when he was just businessman Trump, gives much of a damn whether people criticize him or not. He's going to do what he's going to do because he has a solid foundation of beliefs that he follows.
Agreed.
Now, whether or not I agree with everything is irrelevant.
Right.
I'm not the one with all of the information coming in.
And once again, he is the president.
Ultimately, he does have our best interest, I believe.
I do too. And look, he even President Washington was imperfect. I think that we've mentioned this a few times. The only perfect person was hung on a cross. So, let's just not even have that conversation of, well, he's made mistakes. Well, and I without trying to sound too cavalier, what's your point? Well, what's your point? There isn't a single president in the entire history of our country who has been 100% perfect. And this president is not going to be 100% perfect. At the end of the day, I've said this a million times. All you have to do is be of a certain age and be an American citizen in order to be the president of the United States and, of course, be elected. But don't give me this crap of he's not qualified. I mean, hell, I'm not qualified, but I could become the president. Dennis is not qualified.
Was Joe Biden qualified?
Oh, God. Let's not get started on Sleepy
Oh,
Joe.
my God.
Come on. Sleepy Joe's having ice cream right now. We don't need to have that conversation. But no, that's the point. The point is Barack Obama was not qualified to be the president of the United States, period.
Not.
Barack Obama gave Tom Homan an award for his service as the director of the entity that he was running under Obama's administration. And now Barack Obama criticizes ICE and Tom Homan.
What makes somebody qualified to be president, Mark?
I don't know. That's a very good question. What makes someone qualified to be the president? Mom, you're qualified to be the president.
I don't have enough money. That's a big problem.
No, we're not talking about money and money. We're talking about qualifications.
No, somebody
is
get
qualification. And if I had my way, that would be one of the first things I would do is change the way presidential elections and actually any election for a federal position was handled. They would get
funding, advertisement.
There would be no dark money spent. They would have X number of hours on, say, social media or whatever. And if they went to a rally somewhere, they would have to prove that they paid for it themselves out of their pocket and it did not come out of any kind of a donation. All right. So let's see the rainbow start flying because that'll never happen. But that would stop a lot of it.
Well, look, and here's that side of that. We talked about, I think we covered Iran pretty good. I think if the president is serious about dealing with the Mullahs, then he should deal with the Mullahs. And I really believe that is a regime that is ready to topple.
It's time.
They just need help. And it is time. Dennis is absolutely right. It is time to see that oppressive regime come to an end. I'll extend that. It is time to see all regimes that are oppressive come to an end. Gotcha. All of them. I have all of them. None of them should live. None of them should survive. Any regime that is oppressive to its people and abusive to its people has no place in our world. Unfortunately, they're in our world, and we have to deal with that. But back to what Mom was saying. I believe that if you are bringing donation funding, that it should come from people, not from corporations. And I believe that there should be no public funding of any campaigns. Whenever you file your taxes, there is always a question of whether or not you want to fund the next federal campaign funding. I don't believe that there should be any federal campaign funding. I believe that if you are going to run for any kind of a public office, and I guess this makes the three of us idealists, okay? If you're going to run for public office, run on your credentials and run on your values and let everything else fall where it may.
Mark, I have never once, since I've filed taxes, ever donated to the presidential campaign fund.
And neither have I.
Ever.
And I don't know that my mom has ever done it either.
Actually, I do.
Holy crap. You do?
I
still?
refuse.
I don't see why my tax dollars needs to go to anybody who is running for public office. That is,
especially if they've already they're sitting on a crap ton of money.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's not going where it should go, and that's the sad part of it.
Right.
Because again, it's money that drives it. I mean, there's absolutely no reason why we should have some of the, shall we say, less than qualified people, like that jerk that I saw on arguing with Hannity the other night.
Oh, Sri Tander, that little Indian guy that looks like
little Indian guy
should be on
SNL. No reason why he should even be in the Senate or the representative or wherever. He is not qualified. He has nothing good to say.
But hang on a second, Mom. There goes that qualification word there. Doesn't matter that he doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't matter that he's an idiot, and he is an idiot. He's not the only one. PayPal
voted him in.
PayPal is the same way. She's not the sharpest tack in the box. Hey, we have made open, ridiculed fun of Jasmine Crockett and her crap, right? At the end of the day, when you read the Constitution, and I always tell people, if you want to argue this, argue it, but argue it from a position of knowledge of what it takes to become and what the Constitution says. The Constitution says, in the case of the president and the vice president, you need to be a minimum of 36 years old, 35 years old, and you have to be a natural born citizen of the United States. Born citizen of the United States.
Right.
End of discussion. It doesn't say anything about college degrees or law degrees or anything. It says exactly that. Now, they've created rules for campaigning and all of that. But if you wanted to handwrite a person in, they would, and they got enough votes, it doesn't matter if they even campaigned, because that's how it works. If you are a senator or a congressman, you can become one as a naturalized citizen. And the two people that we just talked about, Jemiah Payapal and the Indian guy, neither one of them are born citizens. They are naturalized citizens, just like Ilhan Omar, just like a few others. And here's my only problem with that. Naturalized citizens, especially those who have professed continued allegiance to the nation of their origin, should be disqualified due to their own words.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know if this dude from India has professed allegiance to India and the United States, but the minute you become a public servant of the United States, your allegiance should go one way and one way only. Doodah.
I don't think anybody knows what his allegiance is. He's just a weird little creepy guy. Sorry, but that's what he is, and I'm going to call him out for that.
Yeah,
so let me say, being weird and creepy kind of disqualifies him.
Oh,
well, disqualify like at least 15%.
He's smirking and smiling the whole time he's talking to Sean Hannity.
I don't think he knows how to do anything else, though. He does it on the floor too.
I want to smack him so hard his nose falls off. I really do.
Mark, you should get that clip and watch it.
Oh, awesome. Terrible! I couldn't. Sean Hannity was getting angry,
and I've never seen Hannity get quite so upset.
I know, right?
He wanted to get him to.
I think if they'd have been in the same room, Sean Hannity probably would have choked him.
And remember what it was that they were talking about. They were talking about ICE, because I do know that was the subject.
Yeah.
They were talking about ICE. And once again, this is the argument from people on the left. ICE is doing this, and ICE is doing that, and ICE is doing the other, and they're acting like thugs, blah, 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 blah. Here's my response. They are enforcing laws that a Democrat president signed into law, and the same laws were pushed all the way through Congress and the Senate from a bipartisan position, and this was back in the day.
Come on.
This was back in 1996, if I'm not mistaken. So this whole crap, and I say this very, very stringently, this whole crap of they are acting like thugs. Well, you know what? They wouldn't have to act like thugs if we didn't have what amounts to criminal states that are harboring and violating federal law by calling themselves, okay, here's the quotation marks. I'm going to try to be Dr. Evil. Sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we can talk about that next week. I have a feeling that there's going to be some fun conversations next week. Okay, so we're going to close this out. Mom, I am not going to the commissary today because I've been invited to Mom's for steak later this afternoon. And I'm going to be the one cooking. So I've been enlisted to cook steak is what it.
In other words, you're telling me that you're not going to do my grocery shopping.
No, I'll do your grocery shopping tomorrow because I'm off. So after I clean and cook chili tomorrow, that's when I'll do it.
Ah, there you go. Martin Luther King Day, right?
Yeah, I'm off. Martin Luther King Day.
Lucky you.
There is an announcement that we are making. Dennis and I are going to actually be at the MBR studios to Sunday morning. Dennis, I will coordinate with you so you and I can meet and get there and kind of get a lay. Mom will stay remote. That's because the studios are in a basement and I don't need my mom trying to navigate steps. Not that she can't, but there are quite a few steps. So in the interest of safety and that we'll just kind of leave it there.
Well, eventually we can recruit a couple of big thugs to carry her down.
I don't think so. You should get it.
Hey, Mom, we'll just put you on my back. I'll carry you down.
Yeah, there you go. Fireman training.
Yeah, well, we'll just skip that part.
All right. But yeah, we will be in studio. It is my hope that it makes the show better. There will be a couple of little things that are really, really cool about that. One of the biggest things is we'll be able to take phone calls, which means that we'll actually be able to take phone calls live, man. That ought to be fun if we can get people to call in. Yes. That'll increase viewership, I think. I hope.
Bring it on.
So yeah, and once again, I will put down what the theme is. I am still wanting to, just so you know, I am still wanting to talk about slavery, the real unbridled history, not just the European/American slavery that we are in perpetually tied to in the United States, because slavery is a far bigger subject and requires a far deeper dive that is more objective as opposed to subjective. So
I'm gonna send you something on that, Mark.
Okay. Thank you, because we're gonna need as much as we can get our hands on.
Yep.
I hope that you guys like the pictures of my latest flag.
Yeah.
That's up the flagpole, the Washington headquarters banner. Believe it or not, there's a term for people like me. There's actually a thing that we are. I don't know what we're called, but we are actually called something. People that collect flags actually have a name, and I had no idea. I just call myself a flag geek.
Flag collector? I don't know. A hobbyist?
My supervisor actually pulled it up, and I was like, that's too complicated of a word.
Yeah, don't make it too complicated, man. You love flags.
I love flags, man. I love American flags. And for those of you who are wondering, the only flags that go up my flagpole are, of course, the United States flag, always at the top. Then I go to the branch flags of our military. Then I go to states that my family is from, and I'm working on increasing that to ancestral so I can add South Carolina. And like my son was born in Newport. I got to get a Newport flag because my son was born in Newport. My wife and my daughter and myself were all born in Colorado. My mom was born in Colorado. My dad was born in Kentucky. So, and Dennis, I don't know where your ancestors are, but I'm open to adding those flags to the equation. And then I throw my American historical flags into this. Most of what I have are Revolutionary War flags. And that's what I've got. I will be throwing up a Civil War flag here in a couple of weeks. And I will tell all about that flag when it goes up the flagpole. But I do not put pride flags of any kind up there. I don't put the gay pride flag or the trans pride flag. I put up the POWMIA because it's a veteran thing. I don't put up sports flags. I root for the Broncos. I don't show allegiance to them. That's just
those shouldn't go up your pole, man.
I mean, my humble opinion, flagpoles should be reserved for American flags and American heritage.
Sure.
And that's just me. Anybody else, they can do what they want to do with their flag. It is in fact a free country, and that is how I see. That's how I see that. So, it is 1:07. I'm thinking that the game has already started. Go Patriots! I cannot believe I just said that. Diana, if you're watching the show, I cannot believe I just said go Patriots.
I can't believe it either.
I should wash my mouth out with soap. There is something wrong with me. Officially.
I got Houston friends. I don't know. I'm kind of actually I don't care either way, man. I just want.
I do care because Houston's defense is far more abusive than New England's is.
They are, but you know what? We got past the Buffalo Bills. I think we're getting.
You know what?
We made it that far. We'll be okay.
Come on, Dave. Path of least resistance, man. You got to get on board. Look, Denver could go all the way and win the Super Bowl, and every talking head in the nation is going to be worst Super Bowl champions ever. And my response will be, yeah, but Super Bowl champion nonetheless, right?
They'll be all the way. The refs gave it to them.
Hey, it's going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean. You must be the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
Right. Why have you heard of me?
Oh, all right, man. Yeah, guys, God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. We will see you next week from the studio. Holy crap.
That's going to be cool.
And Mom, Dennis and I want to talk to you later this week about something. And Dennis okay, I'll let that cat out of the bag. Dennis thinks we should make a T-shirt, a Freedom Chat T-shirt, and a Freedom Chat T-shirt.
Oh,
a T-shirt with our logo on it.
Okay.
Not this one, but the one that I created with the Serapis flag across the front. So we could talk about it. My mom's already rolling her eyes, going. Dennis, you and I'll wear them.
Whatever.
Screw everybody else.
It's all good. Let's get hats too. Why not?
I need a skull cap. I'll need a bandana.
There you go. Yeah, you get the skull cap. I'll wear my baseball cap. We'll be good.
All right, guys. God bless America. God bless y'all. And we'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Godspeed.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.